YouTube, what's going on, man? It's your boy Celeb, and damn, man, I know y'all been seeing what's been going on all over social media, internet, man, about Lil Durk. Him and five other people was arrested for a murder that happened in 2022 in California. Uh, Supposedly it was Quando Rondo cousin, and Lil Durk is arrested for murder for hire. You know, everybody got their opinion on, uh, the evidence on what's been going on, uh, the case, like everybody lawyers and stuff, but, he hasn't been charged yet, so everybody, just really just speaking on how they feel and, what they think. This is not facts, supposedly somebody snitched, you know what I'm saying? It's all he say, she say right now, but I can say that, you know, it's gonna come out. The truth gonna come out, and it's just crazy, man. Like, one day you could be doing stuff and, everything going good, and then the next day, it's a total, it's a total swift, it's a total shift, so man, it's crazy, man, cause Lil Durk, he's at the top, you know what I'm saying? He doing his thing, he from Chicago. I hate to see anybody in this position, I really do, man. Jail is not, it's not a good thing, man, especially somebody like him, man. He started from the ground up. He really worked hard for from being from Inglewood, man, and being this big star, I hate to see it. I hate to see anybody in this position, man, But yeah, man, I'm just react and see what this story that they got on Lil Durk, man, and let's get into it.
Chicago rapper Lil Durk is in police custody this morning.
He was allegedly involved in a murder for hire plot.
Lil Durk just got hit with one of the most intense charges of his career. We're not talking about a simple arrest here. This is about murder for hire and is tied directly to the murder of his close friend, King Von. This isn't just another headline. It's a story of revenge, loyalty, and an alleged plot that reaches from Chicago to Los Angeles. Let's break down the details of how Durk's past might have finally caught up with him.
So, like I say, everybody got their own speculation and stuff. So, what they saying is the murder that happened in California was get back for King Von. Like I say, it's all speculations. I don't know. That's just what I heard on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So
This could mean for his future. The other day, Lil Durk was arrested in Florida on charges linked to a murder for hire plot, a serious accusation that's bringing a whole new level of attention to his life and career. According to federal prosecutors, Durk and 5 others tied to his Only the Family, OTF collective, were part of a plan to take revenge against Quando Rondo's camp for the murder of King Von, Durk's close friend and collaborator, back in November 2020. Authorities allege that this entire plot began when members of OTF wanted to seek retaliation for Von's death. The story of revenge didn't just stay in Chicago, though. Prosecutors claim that in August 2022,
even with Von, man, I hate that situation too, man, because Von was really a star, man. And, like, he was only rapping for a year, like, to the world, everybody, really got a chance to know him for this 1 year. I mean, if you from Chicago, of course you heard about King Von, you know his background, but, like, the world, he was introduced to the world for a year. Like, he did all that in a year, and that's crazy. He was a real star, so even with him, man, I hate to see it, man. To this day, man, he was a real star. He was going to be something big, man.
members from Lil Durk's crew traveled to Los Angeles on the behalf of Durk himself, and they had one goal in mind: to go to LA and take out Quando Rondo. However, this act of violence instead led to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lo Pab, as the group allegedly carried out what they saw as retribution for Vaughn's murder. On August 19, 2022, Quando Rondo and his cousin Lo Pab were in Los Angeles, making their way through the city, reportedly attending some business-related matters and spending time with close associates. Quando, known for his connections and tense history with Lil Durk's camp due to the tragic conflict that surrounded King Von's death, was cautious yet calm as they navigated through the city that day. By the time the sun started setting, they pulled into a gas station near the Beverly Center, just a quick stop to refuel before moving on. Unbeknownst to them, another vehicle had been tracking their movements, strategically following them through Los Angeles. By the time Quando and Lo Pab pulled into the gas station, the second vehicle was closing in, and everything was set for the ambush. As they parked, that white sedan that had been following them pulled in close, creeping up just enough for its passengers to get a clear line of sight. And in an instant, the calmness of that sunny afternoon was shattered.
Right now,
See, this the thing too, man. It's like it's cameras everywhere. You know, like in the 1960s and shit, you could, you know what I'm saying? It was he say, she say. Even back then, you know, people was telling and stuff, but it wasn't that. It wasn't even cameras. It's like nah, it's cameras everywhere. Where you park at, where you driving. You know what I'm saying? Like even in house, they got like ring light cameras and stuff. I mean, ring cameras. You know, it's cameras everywhere, man.
gone for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
As shots rang out and chaos erupted, the black SUV became the center of a tragic, gut-wrenching scene. The air was filled with panic, and within moments, it was clear the ambush had left someone critically hurt. Quando Rondo's cousin, Lo Pab, was hit, but the full weight of what had just happened didn't hit Quando until later on. Caught on camera, the haunting audio of Quando's screams went viral in the hours that followed. His voice is filled with absolute devastation, echoing through the chaotic scene as he realizes his cousin wasn't gonna make it.
The ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
For Quando, this wasn't just a loss. It was a moment of public grief, a rare glimpse.
Even when that situation, like that's a tough situation too, man. You seeing your cousin, you know what I'm saying, taking his last breath, man. You know, that's crazy, man. This street life, man, it ain't nothing to play with, man. That's why, you know, I'm glad, you know, people trying to push the narrative and push peace, man, because it's not. You know, this streets is over with, man. You know, like, you know, it ain't no good outcome that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dead or in jail, you know? And we seeing that right now. You know, I hate to see that, man. I hate to see that, man.
The pain that artists like himself carry behind the scenes. It's that scream, filled with shock, disbelief, and grief, that made the story hit even harder. A reminder of how real and dangerous these conflicts can get. After the shots went off and Lo Pab was hit, police were called, and within minutes, the area was swarming with law enforcement and first responders. The gas station near the Beverly Center quickly transformed into a crime scene, with officers blocking off the area, trying to make sense.
This happened in West Hollywood. I didn't know that. Damn. West Hollywood. That's a real big that's a real big street in California.
Paramedics rushed to treat Lo Pab, but it was clear his injuries were severe. Despite their efforts, he succumbed to his wounds right there on the spot, under the police lights right at the gas station, as his cousin Quando Rondo watched him pass away in shock. Quando, still being shaken up from the shock, could hardly process what had just happened. He was visibly distraught, pacing back and forth, his screams echoing across the lot, captured on cameras and phones by bystanders. Those screams would go viral, symbolizing the raw pain of a moment that could not be hidden or controlled, a heartbreaking reaction to losing someone so close so suddenly. The police, meanwhile, were already piecing together what little information they had. Witnesses reported seeing a white sedan speed off right after the shooting, leading investigators to believe this was a planned, targeted hit. This wasn't some random act of violence. It had all the signs of a calculated attack. The tragic moment left the hip-hop community stunned and mourning yet another loss in an ongoing ongoing cycle of violence. But that night was only the beginning. Law enforcement would dig deeper into the case, linking it to a broader network of rivalries and conflicts. And now with the federal indictment connecting Lil Pap's death to an alleged murder for hire plot involving Lil Durk's OTF crew, this tragic story has taken on even darker layers. According to prosecutors, Lil Durk is the man behind what they're calling a calculated murder for hire plot, allegedly orchestrated as revenge for the death of his close friend, King Von. They claim that Lil Durk, along with several members of his OTF collective, conspired to take down Quando Rondo or someone close to him as payback for
That's that
Von's
old
tragic
Durk
loss in
right there.
2020. This isn't just a simple feud. They're painting it
That's
as
that,
an
this ain't what
organized,
you
deliberate
want.
plan fueled by loyalty, revenge, and a desire to avenge Von's legacy. Prosecutors allege that Durk's crew wasn't just acting out of anger. They were reportedly promised rewards for their loyalty. The indictment describes coded conversations between the alleged conspirators, detailing
So the thing is, this information that they sent, how do they know this? Somebody in there telling, man. Somebody's in there telling. And that's what they don't, everybody talk about the streets and all this, but why they don't talk about that? Like, telling it is what comes with the streets. People telling on you, that's what comes with the streets. It's a possibility somebody might tell on you, That's why I stay clean. I stay clean, man. You got to. You got to. It's no rules, man. And I hate when people be saying, man, back then, man, it was rules. It was never no rules in the streets. It's always a dirty game. In the beginning of time, when all this shit started, it was never no rules. It was certain lines people crossed, but the streets always been dirty, man.
to find.
Even with his dad, somebody told on his dad. His dad did time in jail, and that's why he said he hate rats. And that's what this was in. I want to say what. I don't quote me, but I want to say what the 90s, what early 90s, late 80s or something like that, So yeah, man.
Compensation for opportunities in the music industry under OTF. This, they say, gave the men enough motivation to track down Quando's circle in Los Angeles and pull off a hit that would eventually send a message across the rap industry. Prosecutors are building the case around Durk's deep connection to King Von and the idea that Von's death was a major turning point for Durk. They're arguing that Durk saw Von's death as something that couldn't go unanswered. According to the prosecutors, this wasn't just about grief, but about maintaining his reputation and loyalty within his crew and the streets. They claim Durk felt a duty to take action, leading to this organized retaliation plan. A key element of the prosecution's case is that Durk's associates were allegedly promised rewards, whether in the form of money, prestige, or elevated positions within OTF.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
If you get injured in an accident, even as just a passenger, no one knows this, but you can turn that.
The indictment mentions coded language used to communicate these promises, hinting at payouts and increased status for anyone who carried out the attack successfully. Prosecutors argue this incentivized Durk's crew to go to extreme lengths, planning and executing an ambush with the expectation that their loyalty would eventually pay off. The prosecution alleges that the attack wasn't spontaneous. It was a result of deliberate planning. Members of OTF are accused of traveling from Chicago to Los Angeles with a mission, which was following Quando Rondo's movements and waiting for the right moment to strike. The hit itself, they claim, was executed in a way that aligns with a classic murder-for-hire operation, with members tracking Rondo's SUV, waiting for him and his crew to be in a vulnerable position before launching the attack. Court documents reveal that after the incident, the OTF members stopped at an In-N-Out where they discussed payments with one of the top OTF associates before heading back to San Diego to catch flights back home. Records show that there was a payment exchange that happened as a reward for the murder. Now, the most important part in all this is that they're saying that Lil Durk is the mastermind behind everything. He was the one who provided funds for flights, ensuring his associates could travel from Chicago to Los Angeles, and according to court documents, Durk allegedly arranged for OTF members to make this trip. So they were operating based on what he told them to do as the head honcho. Durk's top associate, Keon Grant, reportedly coordinated logistics on the ground, but Durk is said to have provided the financial resources and guidance needed for the ambush. Keon Grant arranged hotel accommodations, bought ski masks to conceal identities, and obtained 2 luxury sedans for the group. Court documents indicate that Grant was also the one who supplied firearms, including one reportedly converted into a fully automatic weapon, all of which prosecutors argue was facilitated under under Durk's orders. I think you probably at this point understand why this is so bad for Durk. These aren't just accusations of association or indirect involvement. Prosecutors are painting him as the mastermind behind a deadly, premeditated act. He's being accused of financially and logistically supporting a murder-for-hire scheme that targeted a rival, going as far as to cover travel costs, conceal identities, and provide weapons for the attack. This is some serious stuff right here. And if the court accepts this narrative, it elevates his role in the case to the one who's going to carry the full responsibility for organizing a violent conspiracy with potential penalties, including life in prison or even death penalty, if the court finds sufficient evidence of intent. Moreover, the case is built around digital communications, flight records, and surveillance footage, evidence types that can be compelling in court. Prosecutors are likely betting that one of Durk's associates could flip, testifying to strengthen their case even more. If any of the co-conspirators cooperate with authorities, it could seal the case against them, making the charges even harder to fight. Now, one of the things that's a little bit ironic about this entire situation is the fact that for the past 2 years, Lil Durk has publicly been working on cleaning up his image. After years of being tied to the street life, he's tried to turn over a new leaf. For anyone who doesn't know, Lil Durk has not only embraced Islam, but even went as far as converting, changing his name to Mustafa Abdul Malik. So he's definitely been on a journey of rebranding himself. On top of this, he's done community service and launched the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation to support underprivileged youth. And this shift didn't go unnoticed. He was even awarded an honorary key to the city in his hometown suburb of Broadway, Illinois.
Durk Banks, or Lil Durk, was honored and celebrated last week with keys to the villages of Bellwood and Broadview.
And so on behalf of the village of Broadview, we are honored to present this key to the city to Durk Banks Neighborhood Heroes.
And this was literally last week. Local leaders praise his efforts to give back and promote positive change, holding him up as an example of redemption. Fun fact, they ended up revoking the key after this indictment. Lil Durk, a few weeks ago, also announced that his criminal record was recently wiped clean. Now, could all this be a defensive move on his end? Because when someone is involved in something like this, especially someone with Lil Durk's influence and public presence, it's important to consider how them reshaping their image can help them if legal troubles come their way. Durk's public shift to a more positive, community-focused persona, receiving the key to the city, doing charity work, and his spiritual growth all adds layers to his defense if anything would happen.
See, like, he really been out here, like, really, like, been pushing this narrative, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got organizations helping kids, you know what I'm saying? And it's not nothing he been doing. I mean, he just started doing, like, even this clip right here that they showing, this was in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Giving out backpacks and stuff. So he been doing stuff like this, man. It ain't just, oh, let me clear up my image. Like, he really been doing this, you know. But now that he got money, you know what I'm saying, he could push it on a whole nother level. You know, I seen he gave out like a big check to the kids. It was something in that nature that I seen. I can't recall what it was, but he gave out like a check. He had kids on stage with him performing, you know. So, man, you know, he really been giving back, man. You know, and I hate to see this, man. I really do.
Like in his case, it sends a message that he's moving away from his past, showing the authorities that he's more serious about changing and leaving his past behind. And maybe for Lil Durk, it wasn't so much about completely avoiding any legal troubles, but maybe he did all this as a way to soften the blow of whatever he did. That's, of course, me just speculating, but thinking about it logically, it does make sense. Because best believe someone with Lil Durk's status understands the power of public opinion and how it can sway narratives. By portraying himself as a reformed individual, he builds a layer of protection, influencing how people view him and possibly impacting how authorities handle him. The question still remains, though, whether this rebranding was a genuine evolution or a strategic buffer given his history. Personally, I don't think this is going to end too well for him. If they actually have recordings or solid evidence of Durk orchestrating a murder, the defense options are limited. When it comes to cases involving premeditated murder, especially with the added weight of conspiracy or organized crime, the sentencing gets really serious. People facing charges like this typically don't get lenient treatment. The legal system often comes down hard, and with someone of his profile, authorities will likely pursue the maximum just to make an example out of him. Durk might be looking at significant time unless his legal team finds a way to poke holes in the prosecution's evidence or challenges the credibility of any witnesses against him. And in high-profile cases like this, even if they don't have direct evidence, the cumulative weight of circumstantial and digital proof can still lead to heavy consequences. Overall, it's really sad to see millionaire rappers still getting involved in situations like this. With the opportunities and success someone like Lil Durk has achieved, you'd think he'd be able to fully separate himself from that lifestyle. But as you guys can see, even with fame, money, and all the chances to make a positive impact in this world, it's clear that he's still stuck on the streets. I'm really curious how this is going to end for him, and it'll definitely take some time for this to get resolved. Anyway, this Lil Durk story is definitely crazy. If you made it this far, do yourself a favor and like the video and subscribe if you're new here. What do you guys think about this Lil Durk story? Pretty crazy one considering the weight of the indictment, honestly. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah, man, I hate to see this, man. Yeah, you know, all we could do is just sit around and wait and, you know, see, you know how this case is gonna proceed. Like I say, man, it's all allegations. What everybody's saying, you know, everybody got their speculations on. Oh yeah, it's over with for him, and you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, you know, just keep updates and you know, just keep looking at the case and. Yeah, man, as far as the streets, man, I just want to say this, man. Stay clean, man. The streets is over with, you know. It's no good ending with it, you know. Like, the streets is undefeated, man. You know, and these lawyers and these police, like, they undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they want you, they gonna get you, man. You know, and like I say, man, I just hate to see it, man, on all aspects. What happened to Rondo, I hate to see that. I hate to see Durk and them going to jail. The situation with King Von, you know. That's why I'm glad, like I said, they pushing this pushing peace narrative, man, especially from my city, Chicago, man. You know, I want to see change, you know. I want to see change, and we got to do better, man, you know. So, yeah, man. It sucks, man. It really do. But yeah, man. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna try to be dropping bangers, man, every week, you know. So we gonna keep it rolling with this, man. If you haven't liked my vlog page, your boy Celeb, and I'm out.